Both supply and demand curves display the relationship between the number of units supplied or demanded and the price. The ratio between the percentage changed in the amount supplied or demanded and the percentage in the price is known as price elasticity. Today we're discussing the price elasticity of demand and supply and how to calculate it. Price elasticity of demand is defined as the difference between the percentage change in the quantity demanded and the percentage change in the price. This can be found by dividing the percentage change in price by the percentage change in quantity demanded. The demand line moves down a graph from left to right, and because of this, price elasticity of demand will always be a negative number. Since this is common knowledge, price elasticity of demand is reported as its absolute value and without the negative sign. So while everyone knows that the number is negative, it is represented as positive. I know this seems confusing, but it's important to keep in mind. Let's say you run a bicycle business. We can make a demand curve for the demand of your bicycles. On the graph, point B states that 2,800 bikes are demanded at the price of $70, and 3,000 bikes are demanded at the price of $60. Let's calculate the elasticity of when the price decreases from $70 to $60. Price elasticity is the percent change in quantity over the percent change in demand. So the first thing we need to find is the percent change in quantity and the percent change in price between the 2 points. Both can be found using the midpoint method of elasticity. The midpoint formula states that percentage change can be found by taking the difference between point 2 and point 1 and dividing it by the sum of points 1 and 2 divided by 2. This is then multiplied by 100 to get a percentage. For our example, B is 0.1 and A is 0.2 because we're decreasing from B to A. Let's find the percentage change in quantity. The quantity of B is 2,800 bikes and the quantity of A is 3,000 bikes. You would first take 3,000 and subtract it from 2,800 to get 200. You would then add 3,000 bikes to 2,800 bikes to get 5,800, and then divide that by 2 to get 2,900. To get the percentage, you divide 200 by 2,900 and multiply that by 100 to get a change in quantity of 6.9%. You then use this exact same formula for price with B's price being $70 and A's price being $60. You'll find that the percent change in price is negative 15.4%. You then use this exact same formula for price with B's price being $70 and A's price being $60. Take the $60 and subtract $70 for a total of negative 10. Then add 70 and 60 together and divide that by 2 to get 65. You then divide negative 10 by 65 and multiply that by 100 to get a change in price percentage of negative 15.4%. Finally, we take what we got for the percentage change in quantity, in this case 6.9%, and divide it by the percent change in price, negative 15.4%. The price elasticity of demand between point B and A in your bike business is negative 0.45%. Remember that the demand elasticity will always be negative, so we take the absolute value of negative 0.45 and find a final elasticity of 0.45%. Price elasticity of supply is the percent change in quantity supplied and the percent change in price, and can be found using the exact same method of demand. Let's say you are renting jet skis for $650 per month and you sent out 10,000 units. You then increase the rent of your jet skis to $700 and increase the supply to 13,000 units. $650 and 10,000 units is our point A, and $700 and 13,000 units is our point B. Let's calculate the price elasticity of supply. This is done the exact same way as demand. First, find the percentage change in quantity and price using the midpoint method. Take the 13,000 units in point B and subtract by the 10,000 in point A to get 3,000. Then add the quantity of the 2 points together to get 23,000 and divide that by 2 for a total of 11,500. Divide 3,000 by 11,500 and multiply the total by 100 for a percent change in quantity of 26.1%. For the percentage change in price, take the $700 in point A and subtract by the $650 in point B to get $50. Then add the 2 points' prices together to get 1,350 and divide that by 2 for a total of 675. You then divide the 50 from the first equation by the 675 from the second and multiply that by 100 for a total percent change in price between points A and B of 7.4%. The final step is to divide the percentage change in quantity by the percent change in price. In this case, divide 26.1% by 7.4%, and you find that the price elasticity of supply between point A and B in your ski rental business is a whopping 3.53%. That's all on price elasticity of supply and demand. In the end, it's just basic algebra. I bet you never thought you'd use that knowledge again, huh?